Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going on a seriously fascinating journey, essentially peeling back the layers of the AI onion. We're going to trace the entire path, starting from Alan Turing's brilliant early philosophical questions, all the way to the high-stakes, multi-billion-dollar reality of enterprise AI in 2026. If you've been looking for a deep explanation of artificial intelligence, without all the fluff and marketing jargon, you are in exactly the right place. So let's dig right in.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The origins of intelligence, 2. How AI actually works, 3. Enterprise trends in 2026, 4. Navigating the 10 risks, and finally, 5. Governing our AI future.
Section 1. The origins of intelligence.
Now, to really grasp where we're headed, we kind of have to look at where it all started, right? Back in 1950, the mathematician Alan Turing published this landmark paper posing a profoundly simple yet totally disruptive question. Can machines think? And because the word think is literally so incredibly hard to define, he proposed the imitation game, which we all know today as the Turing test. He was essentially asking if a machine could act indistinguishably from a human. But it wasn't just about a computer tricking us. It was about generating true cognitive capacity. And honestly, that is the exact same capacity we're desperately trying to wrangle in enterprise tech today.
Turing started with this brilliant concept of a child machine in 1950. It was this idea of a simple system that could learn and be educated through rewards and punishments. Well, fast forward and look at how rapidly that early prediction has evolved. By 2025, global enterprise spend on generative AI had already hit $4 billion. Right now, in 2026, we're witnessing this massive, tectonic shift from these isolated tactical pilot programs to full-blown enterprise-wide AI transformation. And by 2030, that global AI spend is projected to absolutely skyrocket to $19.2 billion. Turing predicted machines would eventually compete with humans, sure, but the sheer, mind-boggling scale of today's enterprise landscape, it's truly staggering.
Moving on to Section 2, how AI actually works. So Turing asked if machines could think. But how do they actually learn? How do we get from a static piece of code sitting on a screen to a dynamic system that can flawlessly translate languages on the fly, instantly detect credit card fraud, or literally drive a car down the highway? Now, what's really interesting here is peeling back the definition itself. While we all know artificial intelligence mimics human intelligence, the critical differentiator for us is machine learning. As a quick strategic refresher, instead of developers writing these exhaustive, explicit, step-by-step rules for a computer to follow, we just allow these systems to learn patterns directly from the data itself. You feed it examples, it recognizes the underlying patterns, it optimizes its own internal parameters, and boom. Then it makes highly accurate predictions on completely new, unseen data.
But you've definitely heard the terms machine learning and deep learning tossed around interchangeably. Let's definitively separate them once and for all. Traditional machine learning actually requires manual feature extraction, meaning human experts have to step in and tell the algorithm exactly what specific features to look for. And it works really well on smaller, more structured data sets. Deep learning, on the other hand, learns those features completely automatically from massive, unstructured data. We're talking raw images, messy audio, huge blocks of text, all processed using multi-layered artificial neural networks. So why does this actually matter to you? Because knowing the difference isn't just semantics, it fundamentally changes exactly how you build and, more importantly, how you fund your tech infrastructure.
Let's break this down further. For machine learning, you can often run these models on standard CPUs using small to medium datasets. And the training time, it's relatively fast. Deep learning, though, is an entirely different beast. Because it processes such massive amounts of unstructured data to automatically extract features, it requires highly advanced hardware. If you want deep learning, get ready to pay heavily for GPUs, because those hardware requirements are massive. The training time is significantly slower, and to top it off, it acts much more like a black box, meaning it's incredibly difficult for us to interpret exactly how it arrived at a specific decision. So bottom line, if you have structured data and need to easily explain your results to stakeholders, you stick to machine learning. But if you're doing complex image recognition or processing natural language, you absolutely need deep learning.
Section 3. Enterprise trends in 2026.
$19.2 billion. Let that number sink in for a second. That is the projected global enterprise spend on generative AI by the year 2030. Listen, this isn't just a fun experimental tool anymore, it is an absolute competitive necessity. We have officially moved way beyond the hype cycle and into a reality where AI is driving massive, tangible economic value across the board.
So, what are businesses actually doing with this technology right now? Well, there are three major trends dominating 2026. First up is agentic AI. These are autonomous decision makers. Unlike traditional AI that needs you to sit there and constantly prompt it, AI agents can plan, reason, and execute complex multi-step workflows entirely on their own. It's a real game changer. Second, we have small language models, or SLMs. These are highly efficient, fine-tuned models that process data right on your device. And third is physical AI. This is where artificial intelligence merges with robotics to bridge the physical-digital divide, massively boosting productivity in sectors like logistics and manufacturing. And the so what here? Well, SLMs mean you can drastically slash your wildly expensive cloud bills, and agentic AI means your workflows can quite literally run themselves while you sleep.
Section 4. Navigating the 10 risks.
But we have to ask the hard question. What happens when AI goes wrong? Because right now, predictions show that up to 30% of generative AI projects might be abandoned entirely. 30%! And that's largely due to poor data, unclear business value, or just a sheer inability to manage the inherent risks involved.
According to IBM, there are 10 primary AI risks we've got to actively manage. Think about the societal impacts first. We're talking bias, where these systems inadvertently learn and then perpetuate human prejudices, along with job losses from rapid automation. Then you have the severe technical and security vulnerabilities, cybersecurity threats, as bad actors use AI to clone voices or generate absolutely flawless phishing emails, right alongside massive data privacy issues regarding how all this training data is scraped without consent. And hey, don't forget the physical world. Environmental harms are very real, especially when you consider the millions of liters of water needed just to cool the servers training these massive models. On the corporate side, you're looking at intellectual property infringement, a distinct lack of accountability when things go off the rails, and that terrifying black box lack of explainability we touched on earlier. Finally, there are the broader existential threats and the massive ongoing battle against misinformation and deepfakes. So the crucial point is, the stakes here are incredibly high.
And the vulnerability in the enterprise landscape right now is absolutely staggering. According to IBM, only 24% of generative AI initiatives are secured. Think about that. That leaves 76% completely exposed. It leaves highly sensitive enterprise data and core AI models totally vulnerable to breaches, and those breaches cost a global average of nearly $5 million a pop. Security is lagging dangerously behind adoption.
Which brings us to Section 5, Governing Our AI Future.
So how do we fix this? How do we proactively mitigate these risks? Well, it requires a highly structured governance strategy. Step 1, establish human-machine partnerships. The goal here is augmentation, folks, not job replacement. We want to use AI to enhance human problem solving. Step 2, keep accessible audit trails. You have to be able to track decisions and establish clear accountability. Step 3, adopt explainable AI techniques. Using advanced tools like Lime or DeepLift actually allows us to peek inside that neural network and understand exactly how a model is making its predictions. And Step 4, implement robust enterprise AI governance platforms. You need these to direct, manage, and monitor AI activities, like constantly checking for bias and accuracy across your entire organization. Ultimately, this isn't just boring corporate red tape. This level of governance is literally the only way to ensure your AI investment doesn't transform into a massive liability.
Back in 1950, Alan Turing boldly predicted that machines would one day compete with humans in numerous intellectual fields. Today, we aren't just looking at that as some fun, abstract theory, we are living right in the middle of his vision. As we shift at lightning speed from using simple digital tools to deploying autonomous decision-making systems that run our global enterprises, the ultimate question is, are you prepared for the agentic AI future? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope peeling back the layers of this AI onion has given you a powerful, fresh understanding of artificial intelligence. See you next time.